Hello and welcome to a new series. What if Chaotic Central, or just Chaos, took over Marvel Studios? Today we are going through the first phase of what I am calling the Chaotic Marvel Cinematic Universe. The first phase, obviously. The first film in this phase will be the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four is called Marvel's First Family, and to me it seems like it is only fitting that the Fantastic Four be the group that introduces us to this new cinematic universe. Tim Burton would be the director of this film. Burton is someone who has done both, worked on a superhero film as well as family-centric films like Batman, The Nightmare on Elm Street, as well as Dumbo, the live-action one. I feel like he would be the best choice for this cinematic universe, which is a bit darker than what the current MCU is, yet it still has that Marvel feel to it, and I think Tim Burton would be excellent at doing a Fantastic Four film. The main cast would include John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, Emily Blunt as the Invisible Woman, Andrew Garfield as the Human Torch, and Danny McBride as the Thing. The main villain of this film will not be Doctor Doom, who will, however, be the Mole Man, who would be played by Danny DeVito. The film begins with the Fantastic Four deciding to take an unauthorized test flight into space using an experimental faster-than-light rocket. Once in space, the rocket passes through a storm of cosmic radiation. However, the shield on the rocket that was supposed to shield the group from radiation fails and sends the spacecraft crashing down to Earth. This is where our heroes are mutated, very close to what their comic origins are. Throughout the film, the Fantastic Four will be battling the Mole Man and his moles, eventually leading to a final climactic battle with Giganto to finish off the film. Going into the mid-credit scenes, Nick Fury is teased as he approaches Mr. Fantastic for a potential acquisition. Nick Fury would be played by Ernie Hudson. And finally, the end-credit scene, which would show off Namor the Submariner, Namor, of course, being played by Brian T. Our next film will be an Angel solo film, and this entire film would be an original story since Angel isn't a character known for his solo outings in the comics, and this is a story that I would actually like to share and get people's thoughts on. The director would be Todd Phillips, the director of the Joker film. I would want this film to take a dark yet emotional roller coaster for the people watching it, and Todd Phillips has done that multiple times during his past works. Angel would be played by Alexander Skarsgård in this universe. The origin stays somewhat similar to its comic origins. Angel has a normal life until one day he notices that he's growing angel-like wings on his back, and then he becomes insecure about it. However, things would take a turn for the worst as Angel's family would be killed off one by an unknown assailant. Two-thirds into the film, Angel will have a fight against Amphibious, who is being paid by the main villain of this film to attack Angel, which is the Dazzler, who is being played by Ben Affleck. The Dazzler is Angel's cousin, or before the Dazzler name was given to another character, but Dazzler's whole goal here is that he wants the Worthington money, as they are a rich family, as they are in the comics, and Dazzler wants to be the head of the family, so he decides to kill off multiple family members just to become rich. Angel will eventually kill off Dazzler to end off the film. There would only be a post-credit scene for this film, but that would tease Archangel, and yes, Archangel will be completely different in this universe. The next film will be the Submariner, a character which was teased in the Fantastic Four film. The director of this film will be James Wan, the same person who directed Aquaman. And Namor and Aquaman are very similar, thus it should be a very easy transition for the director. There would be two major characters in this film, both being side characters, both of whom are naval researchers. First, Caleb Alexander, played by Danny Glover, and Carrie Alexander, played by Coco Jones. The film begins with Caleb and Carrie exploring the seas as they claim their current location is that of Atlantis, the Lost City. However, there are, of course, doubters, because why wouldn't there be? Of course, they both eventually meet the Prince of Atlantis, Namor the Submariner. The relationship between the three is rocky at start, but eventually Namor would go a soft spot for the two mortals. Around the halfway point of the film, Namor would have a fight with Griffin, who would be working with the main villain of this film, Griffin being played by Andy Serkis. The main villain of this film would be Tiger Shark. Well, not technically the main villain, but he's Namor's main opposition, as Tiger Shark is being paid off by the boss of Caleb and Carrie, so she can kill them off and take the credit for finding the lost city. Tiger Shark would be played by Manu Bennett. The post-credit scene of this film would tease a confrontation between Namor and the Fantastic Four. The next film will be headed by a very obscure Marvel hero, that being the Phantom Reporter. The director of this film will be Michael Suesta, and the Phantom Reporter would be played by Josh Hutcherson. Peggy Carter would also make an appearance in this film. She would be played by Isa Gonzalez. Peggy Carter would be with the Phantom Reporter, helping him reveal and stop the main villain's plot to help the Nazis. The main villain being Arnim Zola, who would be played by Zach Galifianakis. Arnim Zola's whole plot is that he's going to build a super weapon for the Red Skull and the Nazis, and which, using the Cosmic Cube, if this were to get built, the entire planet would become dust, essentially, as the Cosmic Cube is a very powerful weapon. There would also be mentions of Captain America throughout this film, just as a future film for Captain America in this universe. Post-credit scene of this film will show Captain America's shield being picked up by presumably Captain America to set up what people would think is a Captain America film. The penultimate film of this phase will be Angel Inner Conflict. This phase will be about Angel and him dealing with the after effects of witnessing his family die, as well as killing his uncle in the last film. The villain of this film will be Archangel, and yes, I know, Angel and Archangel are the same person. However, for this film, they will be separate. Archangel will be played by the same actor as Angel, being played by Alexander Skarsgård. Archangel is created by the grief and PTSD Angel is dealing with due to what happened in the first film. Due to this, Archangel becomes his own being, slaughtering as many people as he can. During the final battle, Archangel rips off Angel's wings, and yes, it would be a very brutal scene. However, there is someone in this film that was actually in the last film, but I didn't mention because I didn't want to, that actually helps Angel win this fight, that person being Psylocke, who would be played by Arden Chow. The post-credit scene shows Angel on a bed with mechanical wings to replace the ones that were ripped off, and Professor X wheels up to Angel's bed and introduces himself, setting up a future X-Men film. Professor X, played by Bruce Willis. The final film of the phase will be the Fantastic Four versus the Submariner. The plot of this film is that Namor, after the events of his film, has a distaste for humanity, as in his eyes, they're willing to kill each other just for fame and fortune, citing World War II and how he witnessed the Japan bombings, the Holocaust, D-Day, and much more. Namor would announce live to the entire world that Atlantis is declaring war on civilization and begins his invasion of New York City, where the Fantastic Four is there to save the day. Mr. Fantastic would try to convince Namor that civilization is not that bad and he should give it a second chance. However, Namor would reject this notion. The final battle would see Namor take on the entire Fantastic Four. He almost drowns the Human Torch, almost breaks off the Thing's arm, bashes Invisible Woman's head into the pavement, and Namor is about to stab Mr. Fantastic with this trident until he is stopped by Carrie. She tells him that this is not the way to change the world, and shockingly, Namor listens to her. But he doesn't say a word as he leaves back into the ocean, back down to the depths of Atlantis. The post-credit scene of this film would show off Victor Von Doom, aka Dr. Doom, ruling Latveria as he smiles at the screen. Dr. Doom, of course, being played by Mads Mikkelsen. So, what did you think of this first phase? Do you think it was good? Did you enjoy it? I put a lot of effort into this, try to make it pretty good. Of course, this is only the first phase, setting up the universe. I can't wait to show you guys phase 2. But, of course, this is the Khaotic One. If you enjoy, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. This is the Khaotic One saying, peace.